Hello there, Colm Ahern. How are you on this fine day?
I'm absolutely fantastic, Mike Stubbsy. But you know the old phrase, if my head wasn't attached to my body, I'd forget it.
I'm sure you would, Colm, because that is the type of person that you are. So why have you just said that, Mr. Colm?
I've said that because that's like the game that I've been playing. FrankNJohn, which is, well, I was going to say a new game. It's been out a while now on Steam Early Access from Bitsmith Games. It was actually... The interesting thing about this is... Well, one of the interesting things is that this was actually a Kickstarter. But you know what, Stubbsy? When all we hear about is the ukuleles and the fucking Castlevania one that I can't remember. What's the name of the Castlevania one?
I didn't even know there was a Castlevania one.
Well, it's not actually, but similar. It's similar to Banjo-Kazooie. It's like, you know, a spiritual successor to Symphony of the Night. I can't remember, but yeah, that was a success. All we hear about are these successful Kickstarters, but FrankNJohn was actually a failed Kickstarter, which is kind of, you know. The Kickstarter, unfortunately for Bitsmith Games, it failed, and they put the heads down and said, right, okay, we're gonna have to work really hard to get our product out to the world and turn to Steam Early Access, and they have, and they have something to show for it now, and do you know what? I'm quite enjoying it.
And so, if you could give me the 1 minute elevator pitch for this game, what is it?
FrankNJohn. So you are FrankNJohn. Alright, you are both FrankNJohn. As far as I fucking remember, I was saying that and I was like, you are, aren't you? Because I'm sure his body is... That's right. Is it his... Oh, Jesus. Fuck, I'm going to get this wrong now. Is it your Frank's head and John's body? Or something like that? I think so. Anyway, you're basically a failed experiment. Similar to Dr. Frankenstein's monster, I suppose. And it's a roguelike, Stubbsy. Procedurally generated or randomly generated, whatever you're having today, however you want to pronounce it today, and yeah, it's a 3D roguelike where it has, I suppose, it's kind of like there could be comparisons made to Binding of Isaac or a kind of, I suppose, a Dark Souls, I suppose, where you go around and you must kill a load of colourful characters with your head. With your motherfucking head, Mike Stubbsy.
So do you just walk up to them and headbutt them, or?
No, you don't give them a Mayfield handshake, as they say around these parts. What you do is you, with your right analog stick, if you're playing on controller, because this is available on PC and I think it's on Mac as well, and Linux, I'm sure. And yeah, with your right analog stick, you basically swing your head in whatever direction your enemies are currently resting in, and yeah, you try and kill him that way. There's a couple of other elements to it, like you can break down kind of bits of the scenery as well to get marbles, which you can then use to upgrade parts of your body as well. Because we actually we did a video on this when it was actually a Kickstarter demo, and from what I played then to now, there's been a couple of differences. Mainly the upgrading system, which I didn't get to play with at the time, which is kind of cool. Like if you buy an upgrade, it stays with you, and but the only thing is you can't, as far as I can see anyway, you don't get to keep your marbles. You lose your marbles, Mike Stubbsy, which is the currency in the game. Like once you start a new game, I suppose. And yeah, you can upgrade parts of your body, and you can upgrade your heads, or you can buy new heads, because that's another thing about the game as well, is that throughout levels you will come across different heads, which all have kind of different kind of special abilities. Yeah, they can all swing around the place, and I suppose they all have the same basic function, but they all have kind of different special abilities as well. And Mike Stubbsy, you will not believe the delight in my face when I picked up a head that I think was called, I want to say it was called the Blue Blur or the Blur Hog or something like that, because it was an homage to my hero and yours and everyone watching this, Sonic the Hedgehog. And I was able to fly around the place really quickly, and it was great. But yeah, there was a recent update for the game on Steam that allows for co-op now as well. And I suppose there was a few tweaks to the combat as well. Which sadly didn't get to mess around with the co-op, but there's a couple of kind of interesting little additions to that, where if a player dies, like with this being a roguelike, obviously if you die, in the words of Ivan Drago, if he dies, he dies. That is it. If you die, you are gone. But with the local co-op, if one of you die, the other one can actually resurrect them, but they sacrifice I think it's half of their health. And there's a couple of other things, like all collectibles or like upgrades, marbles, they're all kind of shared across the two players as well. But it's I don't know, like I'm quite enjoying it, and there are certain roguelikes that I gravitate towards, some of them I don't, because mainly I do kind of get pissed off with the idea of, I'm a busy man, Mike Stubbsy, you know, and like I do get pissed off with the idea of having to start shit over and over and over again. But the upgrade system, I suppose, and stuff like that kind of keep me coming back for more. I don't know actually, are you a fan of the roguelikes?
I kind of am, and it's like kind of similar to what you're saying. Some I've like stuck with and I've played quite a bit, whereas others I've sort of played once, gone, oh, this is quite a cool idea, but I'm done now.
Yeah, like I mean, Spelunky I really gravitated towards for a time as well. I'm trying to think what other roguelikes did I really enjoy.
See, I didn't get on with Spelunky. I sort of played it once and went, right, I get the idea, I'm done. Whereas like, I think it was, I don't know if it was directly a roguelike, but I'm sure it was. It was like, I think it was called Eldritch. I think it was a first-person shooter, randomly generated deal. And that I played for hours.
Eldritch?
Yeah, it's definitely Eldritch.
It rings a bell. But yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, it's still obviously the early stages, because like the thing about early access is, I mean, it's kind of, it'll come out when it comes out. I have no fucking idea when the final game will actually come to the fore. But a lot of the things I see in FrankNJohn I really enjoy, because do you know what, like I suppose I compared it to, say, The Binding of Isaac or your Souls games. And like your Soul games obviously very dark and grim. The Binding of Isaac looks like a Flash game, but the subject matter is incredibly dark. Like this is, I don't want to say something like it's kind of baby's first roguelike, because in terms of the gameplay it's not at all, and it makes it sound quite reductive if I say that. But in terms of the visuals, like it's a quite cartoony, and you know, like I suppose, like even though you're battling against, I suppose because you're kind of like a kind of a weird mishmash type of experiment gone wrong, you're battling. Do you know what it's like actually? Do you know the baddies from Toy Story?
Yep.
Like, do you know the freaky cunt baby? And,
yes.
And things like that. It's kind of weird, mishmashy kind of things like that, or really nasty Venus flytraps. So, I don't know, I quite like the kind of cutesy kind of look of it as well and stuff. And I don't know, it's definitely one that I will be keeping an eye on as more updates come to the fore. So, yeah, I'm quite enjoying FrankNJohn.
Well, it sounds good to me, Mr. Hearn. I think I might pick it up. So thank you for joining me today to talk about this.
No problem at all, Stubbsy. No, I'm going to cut off your head and put it on my body so you'll never leave me, ever.